Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mysterious Worlds. I'm your host, Paul Rook, and as you can see in the studio, I'm joined by Mark Manley, the alien guy. Hello, Mark.
Right, Dave. I take it this
You
is
all
a
right?
new adventure for you guys.
Oh, absolutely, new show. Um, just while Kerry and Richard are on their sabbatical, keeps me a bit busy.
That's a point. I must
So I
message
thought,
Kerry now to see how they're all doing. Keep forgetting to do that.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I
Every
don't
time I
keep
see her,
forgetting.
she's like, "Why hasn't Mark rang me?" And I said, "I don't know."
I've just had a lot going on lately, so yeah. Fingers
Yeah,
crossed. After tomorrow, all will be
absolutely.
okay. So this mysterious world.
Cool.
What we talking about?
Okay,
The
so
contents of your navel, or what?
well, yeah, I just thought the mysterious world covers everything, doesn't it? Paranormal, mysteries, history, and everything surrounding it. So I thought the first show, we'd get Mark Manley on, the alien guy, and we
Who
could
deals with
literally talk about mysterious worlds.
mysterious other worlds? Yes.
Yeah. So what's the news on that front? Because you're
Um,
you're the specialist.
there's there's seems to there seems to be, because I do regularly go and check on whistleblowers and certain other places where people give testimonies, and there's there's supposed to be some base on Mars. Call it what you want, but apparently there's been a base there and one on the moon, and they've been there for they were there before we were a thought on the in the Earth's apple. You know, before we became these bases were there, and that we've just been
Yeah.
given a chance. We've allegedly been given a chance to use them, and apparently we have been since the mid-50s. Whether that's a load of old rubbish or not, I do not know because I've never been in one. But there's a lot of people saying that they've been there and that they were part of the not Space Force, but pre-Space Force that's there, and they still have a group up there in the various places. So make of it what you will. So
Yeah.
I have watched Iron Sky as well. So yeah.
Well, it's got to be true then, hasn't it? I did see that doorway that you posted on social media.
Hmm.
That it looked like a doorway. I'll just say that it looked like a doorway, but it was only
it,
like 2 inches tall.
it did look like a doorway, and then the way the shadows were going, and everybody was going, no, 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 it wasn't. It was a rock. It was a shadow. No, was it? Bollocks. It was definitely an opening, and you could see the ceiling bumping and going down, and the way the shadows were going. It was something. What it is, I don't know, but it was definitely
Yeah.
something.
Well, I see your other co-host is in the chat room. So hello, Wayne.
I
Give him a
can't see
shout out
actually.
there.
Let me come out of there. No, can't see anybody in
Oh,
there.
terrible. Okay, well, if there is anyone in there, especially Wayne, if you want to put a really difficult question to Mark, go for it. See him squirm a bit.
You sure it's a good idea getting me on the show? You sure?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. First one would be good. Yeah. So, for the people that don't know who are you?
Uh, well, uh, I'm Mark the Alien Guy. I own the Dark Mirror radio show and I co-host it with Wayne Seddon, who writes his scary books and does Spookanori, and there's another thing he does and I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, he does lots and lots of things. But yeah, we present the Dark Mirror show together. And we try and go all over the place and try and do things and investigate places. Like when we went down to Wenston Forest last week and got bitten to death by these bloody big red things. Yeah, that was a disaster.
Yeah,
But
I see that, and yeah, I went to Rendersham Forest, and Kerry and Richard nearly killed me.
did you go to the
But
UFO?
at the time, I was. We looked for it. We parked in one of the car parks. then walked like 50 miles around the site, got back to the car. At that point, I was in so much pain. I said, "Oh no, stop this for a laugh. I'm going to stay here." And then they found the UFO thing about 2 minutes away.
Yeah, there's one of the car parks that we go to. Wayne's got it on his sat nav, and you go and park there, and you literally come out the car park, go across the road, and you walk down for about 5-10 minutes, and you're there. I know that's it. You find it, but
that's probably the same car park.
Yeah, but we all know about you parking up in car parks, mate, and it wasn't for getting UFO watching talking. But you know,
believe me, it was a weird place. We it nearly killed me. And then as I was sitting in the car park, some other bloke pulled up next to me, so I like locked the doors and rang one of my friends just for a bit of safety. And it turns out he was an ex-employee of the military installation there, telling us about these weird, strange creatures that have been reported there. He described it as like a monkey-like creature that would like play around the vehicles and things. But really? And then when we left, he just sort of disappeared. Can't find him. Men in Black have got him.
Did the Men in Black come and get him? And you sure that weird monkey creature wasn't me without my t-shirt on?
It could have been. It really could have been. As I said, I didn't see it personally, but I claimed it was there.
TBP, that's the other thing.
Andy. Okay, but you was literally bitten by creatures, was you?
We were down there. I mean, you know, we were filming. We were, you know, because we couldn't do live because the signal went. So right, we'll film it. So we were filming it, and it was quite a good one. And Wayne was reading out what was on the signs, and I was zooming in on the signs, and we were firing questions at each other. And Rachel was there, and his son Nathan was there, and then all of a sudden these red things with like glass-like wings, see-through wings, and they were about an inch and a half long. Never seen them before. Just came down and started biting the living daylights out of everybody. And it's like, it just got to the point. It's like, no, see ya. So come on. So we went back to the car. And it was just like, nope.
So like giant mosquitoes then?
Giant mosquitoes from Mars.
Yeah, we'll go with that, shall we?
Never ever seen them before. Don't see some forest thing, but they were biting and I got bitten. Rachel did, Wayne did, you know. So it's like, nah, sorry, it's not worth it. So I want to go back there again, but I think I'll wait till it's got a nice frost on the ground. And the insects have been killed off. So
yeah, absolutely, best time to go.
And this time we didn't have the MOD coming up to the fence going at us.
Yeah.
Plus,
we've got quite a few people in the chat room. We've got a few people in the chat room. So there's Kerry Greenaway. You're a Facebook user. I don't know how that works, but okay.
Hello from Canada. Hi, Kerry. I will get hold of you. I've just had so much going on, a lot going on, chemo, God knows what else. I will get hold of you, so don't panic. Hey, Wayne, bitten by the weird red bugs. And then some.
If anyone has got any questions, really difficult questions, send them in to Mark.
Texas Wraith Hunters. Can you really cross over into another dimension?
Oh, okay.
I don't see why not. Unless the laws of physics in another dimension are totally different to ours, in which case we'd go and wouldn't come back. Yeah. But if they're the same laws of physics, I don't see why you can't cross over and come back again.
Yeah,
you look at I was going to say, if you look at all the Native American legends, or if you look at the old Gaelic legends, I mean, I'm Irish. If you look at the legends about the Tuatha De Danann, and Kerry and I did a show on it, Wayne and I've done a show on it years ago, and they have doorways, and you've heard about thin places where, at certain times of the year, including Halloween, certain spots are thin, and you can walk in and out. Well, if you look into all the Native American legends and stuff, they talk about the doorways where they'll go in, and they say they call it like the Old Land or Spirit World or even Nirvana, and you can come back. And they talk about you go in there at certain times, come back certain times, and yeah, I don't see why not. I really don't see why you can't do. Just because we've got jets in the sky and big buildings and stuff, those places are still here. Just got to find them.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, even I've heard rumours that Merlin used to use portals in Stonehenge.
Did I say you could use my real name?
Stonehenge. No, but I don't care. It's my show, so do what I like.
There's a lot to be said for Merlin. Do you believe that those people really disappeared at Stonehenge?
No.
No.
You're talking to me, biggest skeptic of them all.
I used to live down the road from Stonehenge, and I used to go past it all the time, and I've been up there loads and loads of times. There is a strange energy there, and I will say, if you shape a coat hanger into an ankh and go near the stones, you'll find out that there is energy there. But yeah, I reckon just a bunch of hippies got hold of him, and they went and got stoned, and they just had no idea where the hell he was. So.
Well, that's it. I mean, he might have walked up to the stone archway and then just ducked behind one of the arches, and they go, "Oh, look, he's gone."
I wouldn't like to dip behind one of the arches. They belong on the radio and not out in the real world. Can you imagine that going on a paranormal hunt and all you can do is... I haven't had my medication tonight either, so look out. You don't know what's going to come out of my gob next.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
So,
dear.
yes. So, anybody want to... if anybody watches our show... Anybody who watches our show, the Dark Mirror radio show, you're probably wondering what the hell I'm on most of the time, or what Wayne's on. Normally chairs, or you've probably had questions you've always wanted a virus but never dared ask. So go ahead, do it. Apart from Kerry, she's not allowed to.
Absolutely, yeah. No, even Kerry, I bet she's got some.
Yeah, go on then, Kerry. I'll let you do.
Go for it.
Yeah, you want to ask anything? Go ahead. We'll have to get you on the show one night.
So I saw as well that you was doing a UFO event.
Yes, we were going to do. We were going to do a UFO watch, because there's a place over here in Scarborough which is like really, really high up. There's no light pollution, and it looks out over the bay and right across the valley and everything, and you can see for miles. And it's also a place where there's been reported UFOs seen regular basis. I think it started in 1974, the sightings there, but they're seen all the time. And the night I was going to do it, just complete cloud cover everywhere, and it was like,
typical, isn't it?
So yeah, I looked out of the window because I was down in Scarborough. That's where my other half lives, and I was like. And then it cleared up, and I was like, "Oh, this looks good. This looks good." And then it went, "Nope," and that was it. So it was just out of the question. Yeah. So I am going to do it. But it's got to be a case of when I'm down there, I've got to look out. Right, and then I'll put it up on Facebook. Go right, it's clear. Get up there, and then we can all go up there and do a UFO meet, because I keep my binoculars in the car, my telescopes there.
Did you get many takers? Did you get many takers for it?
It was good. Yeah, there was quite a few coming, and I had to put a thing up there saying, it's really cloudy. Watch your space. It looks like it might be off. And it's like, yeah, quite a few people are going to come up. And it was a complete pizza. It wasn't very good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we will be doing them, because it's a really good place to do a UFO watch for. As I say, you can see for miles. And it is really high up.
There's quite a few. There is quite a few places over in the UK that you can go. I know Margate as well, like Herne Bay, that area. You can go and see UFOs there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's Yorkshire. I mean, they come here for the tea. That's what it is. They come here. They come down and they say, "You got any of that Yorkshire gold?"
Yeah, well, I'm not sure about that. Maybe they're turning up for their locals, because I'm sure a few people around there are like aliens.
There's a few people. There's a few people, to be honest. Any county you go to, that all wear tinfoil hats.
No,
Isn't that right?
the
Isn't that
most
right,
I've seen
Paul?
is I actually no, not at all. I got a Fortean Times today, and there's people in North Yorkshire went to Whitby
Oh yeah.
to celebrate 125 years of the Dracula story.
Yeah.
And there was loads of people up there that claimed that were vampires. So
I'm sorry.
I'm assuming
No.
most of them are all. I'm sure most of
No.
them are aliens.
I've met in
Yeah,
my time with doing the show and going to various investigations and blah 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 blah. I've met quite a few people who claim to be vampires. Without patronising the ones who genuinely think they are, or if they genuinely are some real ones, the ones I've met, I feel sorry for. They've obviously got something wrong with them. I've had one, and one of his teeth had fallen off whilst he's talking to me, and it's like, yes, I can see you really are a vampire, mate. And it's
yeah, weird people.
Are there skinwalkers over there? I don't think so. There are supposed to be some type of Bigfoot thing, but skinwalkers over here?
No, I've not really heard of skinwalkers in the UK.
I think skinwalkers more Native American. It's not native.
Yeah.
We have weird things like we did
have
a werewolf
once.
We did have a werewolf once.
Well, a couple of them, haven't we?
Yeah, a whole werewolf. I live near Hull. So, who is this Facebook user? Skinwalkers in Britain? No. Who are you? Who are you? We can't see you. You haven't logged in. We don't know who you are.
Yeah, log in, join in properly. Yeah, the werewolf in Southend.
That's right.
That's the one in the 80s, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, I do believe there's a Scottish one as well.
Well, there's supposed to be big feet up in Scotland, isn't there? Up in the Hebrides. But they call
lots
them
of big feet.
The hairy men. Hi, Viv. Viv will tell you. She knows all about hairy men. Don't you, Viv?
She does. Ooh,
Do you know what? I've got to say, Viv, every time we watch Gogglebox, there's a woman on there who she's like 3 times your size, Viv, but facial wise, she looks just like you, and she's always reclining on a sofa. And every time Gogglebox comes on, like Rachel and I go, oh, there's Viv. Every time, oh, there's Viv again. No, it just says Facebook user. Hi, Trish, you all right?
Have you got any? Have you got any more adventures coming up?
Piss off. That's nice.
I don't know if you were going to say that.
The 15th of October next month, I will be along at the National Emergency Services Museum in
Sheffield.
That's it, Sheffield.
Yeah,
so I don't know what's going to be like. Never done it before.
To that one.
So, have you ever been?
I've not done it. I went to book it a few times. No. I went to book it a few times, but the event never took place. Just couldn't sell it. So, yeah, unfortunately, we never did it. But it's on my list of things to do.
Would you want to come to this one? It's on the 15th of October.
I can't. I'm busy right up until January next year now.
Well, anybody wants to come. Anybody wants to come. It's
what a gate crash.
It's a Dark Mirror and another team that I'm in. We're doing it together. I'm hoping Wayne's going to be able to come down. That'd be nice. Or anybody wants to come
down or coming up.
No, he'll be coming up
surely.
I live up here where they've got flat caps and whippets.
Yeah. So go to shops.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you, Trish. Yeah, they go to. Do you know what? In the 80s, I've always wondered because I mean, originally I'm from just outside Manchester, so I used to have a horrible accent as it was, and then like I left when I was 13, and I lived in just outside London and Somerset, so I've got a cross between Somerset and London, and now I've got Yorkshire creeping in. But I always wondered if in the 80s, when you lived in Yorkshire, the band did they go? Have we got the latest from Tut Tut? Do you reckon they did that?
Yeah,
I reckon they did. Went into HMV and said, "You got Tut Tut." Terribly sorry, sir.
Well, no, they'd know exactly what they're talking about if they're from there as well.
Tut 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 Tut. Sounds like a moped factory.
Yeah, it does.
Sorry,
doesn't it?
I digress.
No worries. Hello, Trish. Hello, everyone else. Viv, Tyra's in the chat room, and
I reckon that Tara's thing about the Southend werewolf. I reckon this thing about the Southend werewolf. I must have been down because my eldest daughter lived at Southend for a bit. I must have been down at Southend with my t-shirt off, and you probably had Tara go, "Mark, can I touch your leg?" And that's what it was all about. It was me running through the crowds going, "Ah!"
That'd be it. That'd be it. Yeah.
The
doing a runner, swinging from the trees.
That's investigation we're doing on the 15th of October. I'll put it up on the Dark Mirror Radio Show's wall. So anybody who wants to come, just let me know. It's only limited number, so first come, first served. Absolutely. And you'll get to see me.
Where can they get tickets?
Just message
is it
me.
Just like tickets on the website? Okay.
Yeah, just message me and I'll message the guys running it, and they just turn up. Just turn up.
Well, Viv said the 33 and a third in the Irish accent cracks her up.
Oh, Jesus, 23 and a third.
Yeah,
33 and a third. 33 and a third. There you go. That's what you're talking about, isn't it? You're taking the piss out of my ancestors. Oh, Jesus.
What a crack.
You're sounding like.
Yeah, what a crack. Oh, dear. Yeah.
So, yes, what do you want to know? Ask away. Oh, do you remember
I
had Bob, the little tiny cat? Do you remember Bob, the little tiny cat?
Yeah. It's not so little now, is it?
This is Bob! This is Bob now.
God.
And he was little tiny, weren't you?
Bobcat.
I'll let you go back to your biscuits. Bob's.
That's Bobcat.
He's called Bob because Becky said, my eldest daughter went, "Oh, you haven't named any of your animals." So his brother is called Gary, and he's like Gary from SpongeBob. So I was like, yeah, go on. And she goes, "I want to call him SpongeBob." She's 23, so she doesn't talk like that. Actually, she talks with the broadest Essex accent you've ever heard, and she lives in Somerset. And she's like, "Oh, I'll call him SpongeBob." Yeah. So I call him Bob for short because there's no way I'm standing on my back doorstep at 2:00 in the morning going, "SpongeBob!" You know, because my neighbours would be like, "He's been taking drugs again, hasn't he?" So, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, have you taken any of your animals on an investigation?
I haven't on an investigation, but I can't say too much, but when I used to do security, one of the places I used to look after was haunted, and it had a few things there. And you've met Becky and Taylor. Well, and they both my daughters are, as you know, are gifted. Taylor's gifted more so than Becky because Becky's got some mental health problems and has to have tablets, which quietens down the real stuff along with the mental health issues. So I took Taylor up there one day and she was pointing out all the things and all the places that I had to do on my patrol that I knew there was stuff. Never told her, never told anybody else where it was. I never said anything until after I'd taken her around. And she was like, "Oh, here. Oh, there's a guy there in overalls, blah, blah, blah," you know? And then I was like, right. She said, "If I were you, I'd bring the dogs up here, see what they're like." And I did. And I used to very regularly, I would get the dogs and I'd let them in and we'd go on patrol with the dogs and they would come around with me and they'd go straight to where these things were. Never any hackles, never any nastiness, but they would go straight to where these people were, and they just like, you know, it was weird. It wasn't like Ooby Doo, you know, with the hackles up or anything. Wasn't anything like that. But they knew there was something there. Let's go there, you know.
So they just didn't run up to strangers and rip their faces off and go, "Oh, it's so and so."
No, that's the cats. That's the cats. Can you imagine me trying to take cats with me when I'm a security guard? Oh, it's a new type of guard dog. Just you watch, you know. No.
Well, your cats are ninja cats, so I know what your cats get up to when they climb up curtains and jump down on top of you.
Oh God, yeah, didn't they? From the curtain pole onto your knackers.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. The amount of times you've been in hospital because of that.
yeah. God, that was a few years ago. That was Stitch. He unfortunately.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was Stitch. I had Lilo and Stitch. Stitch got run over a few years ago, just before I moved to this house, unfortunately, and the bastard drove off.
Okay.
Anyway. But that was him, and he used to climb up on top of the window curtain pole, and he'd if you were fast asleep on the sofa or in bed, he'd climb up on the curtain pole, and go, ha ha! Especially if it was summer and he didn't have the duvet, and he'd go,
yeah,
and he'd wake up,
not have a shoe or anything.
I had to go to hospital once because I thought that he'd like prolapsed a bollock, you know, he just bruised them, but yeah, that was a while back. Now I have Yoda, the black cat, who named himself. I've got Bob, the black cat you just met, and I've got Lilo, and of course I've got the Ghost.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at the back door?
So you don't take investigations
in. I might take Ghost with me one day. I might take the Ghost to. In fact, I'll take her with me to the. If I take her to an investigation, it's going to have to be somewhere where they don't mind dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. Or just do one of those outdoor ones. Like if you're ever down in Essex, go down to Hadley Castle with her.
Well, there's down in Scarborough, there's the castle out on a point. I want to go up there and go and have a look at it. Because this, I don't know what it is. There's something about that castle. I'm always taking pictures of it, and it's only like a couple of walls left of it, but there's something about it that keeps telling me I must go up there. Don't know what it is. I might even. Do you think then?
Do you think then that it could be more past life than paranormal?
I don't know. Somebody was supposed to be regressing me, but never, ever, ever got hold of me about that. But I've got a feeling about past lives and stuff, because like for me, being reborn and not knowing who you are or anything, for me makes no sense, and it's not something I'd like to do because it makes no sense. I do think when you cross over, you have options, and you one of the options is to have a role in something, and that's done. I've learned that through meditation and God knows what else, and that's something I'd think about doing. But being reborn again and you don't know who you are, that's not for me. I'd like to be.
There is evidence. There is evidence that there are some children, in fact, that do remember who they were.
Well, I was just about to say, it would be nice to sort of like get the 10 years old, or just before you get to secondary school and all the bullying starts, because remember, I teach kickboxing. It'd be nice to get to that age and then go, I remember who I am, everything, and be like, God, you're in for it. You know, so yeah, that'd be good.
that would be funny.
That
would be funny.
Who's that? Oh, sorry. I thought there was a question came up for us. It wasn't. Hello, Ghost.
Oh, yeah, I thought that as well. Is there anyone that has got a question that I want to put to Mark? Feel free to do that.
And if you want to see the Ghost,
put it.
Ghost is there. In a ghost.
Oh,
hello. Hello. You can say hello. There you go. That's Ghost. Hello. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Right.
Yeah, look, she's saying she wants to go on an investigation. But
who is?
Ghost. Ghost said she wanted to go on an investigation.
Oh, if you could. Provided you don't crap everywhere, that'd be good. Yeah, like a
Absolutely.
computer
That'd
restoring
be
the
funny.
factory settings. That'd be good. If you could do that, if you're going to be reborn, and I can't remember what the name of that film is. There was a really good film I watched about it, about a set group who they're reborn loads and loads and loads of times, and they get to a certain age, and then bang, they remember, and they're like, and then they meet up after they've remembered who they are. They all meet up, and they're like, all right, and then there's sort of like some secret knight society or something like that. That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. But
yeah, I think there's a program on one of the social streams. I don't know whether it's Netflix or Amazon Prime. Ghosting Our Child. That's quite an interesting show.
In fact, we've done shows about it before. There was an Indian girl who kept saying to her parents, "You're not my parents." I think she was like 4 or 5 years old. And eventually they took her seriously, and she took them to this village, the other side of India, took them to a river and said, "Oh, I died. You know the one. I died there," and pointed out where she died. Took them to where she used to live and her parents' house and everything. And now they're all saying, "Yeah, definitely."
The one that sticks in my mind. Say that again.
I was just agreeing with Annette there. I don't want to come back. I'd like that choice. I'd like a choice, and I'd like to take the role. I'd like to play a role in something,
Yeah, I mean, the one that sticks in my mind is a little boy that would describe him when he was old, looking out a window over the beach, and a plane coming into land over the beach. And it turns out that it was a Scottish island. Literally, he lived in the middle of nowhere. And the scientist that was looking into this claim actually took him to this island. Yeah. And it was literally, just as he said, the plane landed over the beach. He pointed out the house where he used to live. He pointed out the church he used to go to, all that sort of stuff. And I think that's quite amazing.
Yeah, things like that. There's definitely something in it. Have you ever been really, really scared, and what happened? I don't think I have. I've been angry. I've been annoyed. I remember I got scratched from my back. Kerry was there. I got scratched from my back once, and that pissed me right off. I was just weird. There was these two weird black orbs that we kept seeing spiraling, and we had an EMF pump. That was at the dried ducking pond. It was built over, the buildings were built over which is ducking pond. And down in the bottom, every room we went into, we saw these two black orbs that were just every photo. And we checked all the cameras, there was nothing on the lenses, nothing, and there's these two black orbs. And we put an EMF pump in down the bottom. And the room where it was, I think it's just toilets. And these things were, you could see them spiraling. And I was filming, and I got scratched on my back. And I didn't notice to start off with, and it just felt hot. And what's going on with my back? I think it was Kerry had a look, and she said, "You got 3 scratch marks on your back." I was so annoyed. I've never been scared on things. I've been apprehensive in a couple of places, but I've never been scared. You can't, to be honest, I don't think you can really be a good paranormal investigator if you're going to be scared all the time. Because there's no point in investigating something.
No, that's right.
Oh, and the other thing
you get.
I was going to say
the other investigators, they literally hear something and then they run away, or they leave the room, and it's like, well, hang on a minute, investigate it, at least find out what it was.
The one thing that gets me with particular TV investigators, all I'll say is he's about that big and wears a baseball cap down over here somewhere. And he's very arrogant when it comes to spirits. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Really don't. When you go into a place and you're like, "You will do this. You will talk to me. I'm here." But they're just looking at you going, "Jog on, mate." And nah, that's that's not how you do investigations, or that's not how you should do investigations. You shouldn't do that at all.
No, that's it. Well, Trish wants to know, what age did you start seeing things?
I've never seen things, but I love Star Wars, so I'll say I'm force sensitive. I can go to a place and I can tell you if there's something there, and I can tell you if it's good or bad. Can't tell you if it's male, female, age, nothing else. But my daughters, their grandmother, great grandmother on their mum side, she was, I think she was a white witch, and it skipped down to those two, and they're both gifted. Taylor's gifted quite strongly. It's like when my dad passed, there's been a couple of times in my life when I've been very, very low, and I felt him there, and it's almost felt like he's going, "Oh, Jesus," and put his arm around me, and I felt it. Can't see him, can't hear him, but I can smell things. Like he used to go to tobacconists, and he'd had tobacco made specially for him, and it was a peculiar smell. No, it wasn't wacky, and you could smell it. It's twice I've smelt it, and I've known he's been around, and that was about I'd say starting to sense things happen 7, 8 years old, something like that. Started like that. You just sense things kicking off. One day I'm going to write a book about the stuff that's happened in my life. Okay. You'd be quite surprised, actually. There was a big event when I was young that kicked it off, but it's not for the radio show. But yeah.
Okay. So we just had to buy the book.
I've never told. It's never been made public. When I was little, next door neighbours died, both of them. Guy at the road bought the. It was like 2 very old cottages. Bought the house, and then he gutted it, and then he took the foundations out and redid it. As soon as he took the foundations out, all hell broke loose, and all the windows on the house got smashed, all the windows on our house got smashed, and it ended up with our house being set on fire. We had vicars round, cannons round, everything, and they blessed everything, and they did the hands on me and everything like that. And things were happening when I was at school or when we weren't even in the house, and it was that's what started me off sensing things. And I think I was about 7 or 8, something like that. I don't remember too much about it. I just remember it wasn't nice.
Have you ever explored your that aspect of yourself with the feeling of spirit to progress it to seeing or hearing?
I don't know how to. I do use.
That's why you get a teacher.
Yeah, but up here, I use, like I say, I use chi a lot, and I've actually found a way to incorporate martial arts chi into investigations, and I use it for protection and for protecting everybody else. My own things that I've developed, which again I'm not going to talk about because it's my thing. But I do use chi to. You've seen me do it. I use chi to do protection.
Oh yeah.
And it seems to work. So, as to whether I can have my third eye opened, I don't know. If I found somebody because I'm very skeptical about people who claim they can do this, that, and the other. And there's only a handful of people that I know. In fact, one of them's there's 2 in the chat room tonight that I know can do stuff like that. So when there's Kerry and there's Viv, I don't know about the others, but Kerry and Viv are 2 of the ones that I can say, I know what they're talking about. But I don't like charlatans, and I think that's a brilliant word, charlatan. I don't like charlatans. I've had it a couple of times when people have found out, like me son died and everything, and they've come up to me at a couple of investigations and gone, "Oh yeah, he's this and he's that and he's this and he's that," and they were talking about his little 5-year-old, and he wasn't 5 years old at all. He was a lot older than that, And I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah."
Well, I had that sort of today on Instagram. Someone just messaged me out of the blue. God knows who it was, and they just said, "Oh, I was perusing through the profiles, and I felt a distance on yours. So if you want some cleansing, I'm quite to do it." I think if I'd replied, they would have charged me like £45,000 or something. But yeah, via the African prince, you know.
And they send you a link to their
yeah,
OnlyFans bio.
yeah, probably. I didn't get that far. I just deleted it. I was like, the only dark presence I've got is before I turn the light on. You know.
I've got one for you. You know, with the
on.
Queen passing and everything like that. Huff Paranormal.
Yeah.
What do you make of that crap?
I've kept out of it. At the end of the day, if that's what they want to do, that's what they're going to do, innit? We don't have to agree with it. I'd personally just let it rest. But I used to say 50, 60 years down the line, you're going to get investigators doing it anyway, ain't you? If it is genuinely her spirit, come forward.
I hardly think that the day she passes, she's going, "Oh, hello, Mr. Huff." But I won't.
No, I think I don't buy into all that.
I've seen too many electronic gadgets that can have the voices altered and stuff, and I've seen it done. So, no.
Yeah, but I've not actually seen any footage of it anyway. I've just heard through the socials.
I watched a bit of it
and keep going.
Yeah,
I won't even entertain it.
It's the same as I've noticed that he does it every time somebody famous dies. Every time someone famous dies, he does it, and it's just like, mate.
But then it gets him noticed, doesn't it? And that's what I think what it is.
It's the only reason he does it. Yeah.
15 minutes of fame. Yeah,
I don't know.
But then didn't Sally Morgan, didn't she do that sort of thing with Diana? I mean, okay, maybe not straight away, but after a few weeks.
Yeah, I'm sure because there was a big hoo-ha about it, wasn't there?
And yeah, but I mean, look at her. I mean, you know, so people are going to do it. It's just down to the individual whether you want to accept it or not. Personally, exactly. I mean, I'm going down to the funeral. I'm going to the funeral on Monday. I might be working it.
Oh, okay. All right.
With St. John.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because the Queen was the patron of St. John, and now she's passed. We get to make sure the crowd's all safe.
Okay, that's cool. Well, I will.
Yeah, so
I won't do my my own personal thoughts and rants about Huff Paranormal. I will leave that to another time. I've already done it anyway.
Leave it to your show.
What I was going to say is, I think to get famous in this stuff, if you want to get famous through media, you've got to do a rip snorter of a TV show. I think there's so many out there that are just so alike. It's hard to.
Yeah.
We never did our show with the Humvee going up and down America, or going in a Humvee, mobile home, driving, one of those things. What do you call that?
That's because a Humvee, isn't it? The Winnebago.
No. That's it, Winnebago. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we never got around to doing that. But then no big Hollywood directors.
I think
so if they are watching out there, you know, we want to. Yeah. I'm sure Netflix. Kerry will point out the show somewhere. Yeah.
But there may be a show somewhere like it,
Amazon Prime.
None of them have got this gob on it doing it, so that's what's missing. You see?
No, that's it.
You never know what's going to come out with next.
Well, I mean, there was enough of us to do like 4 Winnebagos in a row and convoy.
Yeah. Can you imagine that though? Like a load of English guys just descend on America and go, "Fucking hell," you know.
Yeah, and then you come out, you Winnebago. Hey, up, where's the tea?
Who fancies a brew? Dear.
Yeah, that'd be quite awesome. That.
Yeah, because I want to do.
Right, we've spoken. Yeah, well, we've spoken about your UFO and ghost hunting. You just mentioned Bigfoot. Are you going to go looking for Bigfoot next?
I'd actually like to when Viv and Dan do it. I'd actually like to come along, because I mean, obviously, I'd love to go to America and do it. Absolutely love to. But the closest thing we've got over here is like the ones up in Scotland. So I'd like to go along with Viv and Dan if ever they do one over here and just see what it's like. I'd love to. I think that'd be so interesting.
I've always wanted to go to Scotland. Yeah.
I've heard.
Well, we've got a couple of suggestions for. We got a couple of suggestions for. It could be called Paul 2, or Pikey Paranormal.
Paul 2. No, not Pikey Paranormal. I'm not a Pikey. Thank you very much. I don't steal things.
We'll go with Paul 2. I think that'd be good. We'd invite
Paul
Simon
2.
Pegg along, and Nick,
that'd be awesome.
Frost,
that'd be awesome.
That wouldn't it?
The Paranormal Highway. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely, all over the place.
I want to go to. I mean, one of the places we'd have to go to was Area 51 and the cafe there and everything. Got to do that.
Totally.
And I'll hold you to that, Viv. I'd love to come along to one of them.
Yeah, we'll all go. We'll all pack up and go.
But yeah, it's there's a lot of things. There's a lot of like paranormal places all around the world I'd love to go to. Absolutely kill to go to. Now I've got my passport, just a case of saving up. But, yeah. But yeah,
I'd like to go Bigfoot hunting.
Which one? Normal Bigfoot, skunk ape, dogmen? What?
No, the normal one. I mean, I got into Expedition Bigfoot. That was really good. And another interesting one was the Killer Alaskan Bigfoot. That was good.
Killer
Both
Alaskan?
TV shows. Alaskan Killer Bigfoot or Killer Alaskan, I don't know, one of them. Yeah, so both of those I'll be well up for. I just think it's interesting. So tree structures that are made, although I think some of them could have been just made other hunters.
I was just reading out what Wayne said. A couple of I think do you mean Brits? A couple of Brits travel the length of the states looking for UFOs and find they have actually been traveling in a virtual world run by aliens. You mean that as the storyline for Paul 2? God,
that sounds good.
That's quite cool. That, can you imagine that?
It'd be sort of like a UFO version of the Matrix.
There's a game called Star Ocean, which is the same thing. They're game characters, and they realise that they're trying to delete the people that they're in the game, and people are trying to delete the game, and they find a way to get out the game and into the real world. Yeah.
Isn't that sort of storyline one of the Red Dwarfs? When Cat when Cat comes out and he's Dwayne Dibley.
Oh God! And they're in a VR machine, and he's got buck teeth and everything. Ooh,
yeah,
like that. Yeah. Dwayne Dibley. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a storyline to that, surely.
You don't need to worry about Area 51. You need to worry about Dayton, Ohio, Wright-Patterson Air Base. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on at Wright-Patterson Air Base at the moment. No, you go ahead and copyright that. I reckon that'd be an awesome book. Eh?
What have you heard then?
What? God, there's supposed to be they're working over there in conjunction with several I won't say alien species because that's not right. People from other planets, and that they've been working at, again, I was talking about it earlier, since the 50s, but Wright-Patterson Air Base, they've got all sorts of tech there, and you see things at night flying around there that have been filmed. That's not like anything conventional that we've got. And it's like UFO sightings across the board. We've been saying it since last year. They've gone, and they're getting clearer and clearer and clearer. So it's something's going on, and I think we'll have definitive proof soon.
Interesting.
What do you make about the Middle Earth?
Nope. Yeah.
Film what?
Nope. NOPE. It's called.
No,
that's about UFO. That's really good. Yeah, I think you'd enjoy it. and
No.
it's almost like a twist on Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh right. See, I think
It's
Skinwalker
really,
Ranch.
really good.
I think Skinwalker Ranch has got lots and lots and lots of doorways. I genuinely, we've done. You might have seen the show. We've done loads of shows about it. Skinwalker Ranch,
Yeah.
because of all the various things that goes on. I think there's a lot of doorways there, and they've all. It's like an airport forecourt of terminals and all these different doorways to different places.
Yeah.
All converge in this one place. I think.
I definitely think there is something in it. I don't believe that it's UFO related. But there is strange going on now. From what I see of some of the TV shows, they pick up like radiation 1 minute and then it's gone the next, and
Yeah.
I find that really quite weird.
That's what makes me think it's doorways. I don't think it's necessarily UFOs at all, but I do think there's doorways there, lots of doorways. Where they go to, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's loads of possibilities, isn't there? You know, even if it isn't doorways as such, but like wormholes, we know, you know, scientifically they do exist. Could it be that there's one that appears there occasionally?
Yeah.
Don't know. It's definitely a head scratcher, that one, isn't it?
I was just reading out about Loch Ness. Wasn't there? I'm sure I read a report about last year. Some university students had an underwater camera, and it was they were looking for evidence of something completely different, and it filmed what they think was the side and flipper of a plesiosaur or something like a plesiosaur going past. I remember seeing it on the news.
Okay, but then that could have been like just a big fish, couldn't it? Really?
It'd have to be a fucking great big fish.
Do you not think? Yeah, it would. I actually got, again, going back to the 14 times, on the cover this month, it does say there's a UFO cover-up at Calvine. And it's about a case that was, some photographs were taken 30 years ago, and the government have covered it up. I was going to quiz you about that, but I thought actually, as I've only just got it, I've not read it yet. So
the trouble is, so many. We've reported about it before. There's so much stuff that the government's covered up, and then like they forget they've covered it up, and then like 30, 40, 50 years down the line, they go, "Oh, well, when this happened, and we said that this had happened," it's like, "No, you covered it up, so now you're saying it. What are you doing?" You know?
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of that going on, and it's like the full disclosure nonsense, and then the Senate hearing nonsense. I quite look forward to the Senate hearing one, but then you've got the guys turning around and saying, "No, we can't talk about that," which is an enigma in itself, because they're asking them direct questions, whether there are UFOs and whether there's this and whether there's that. And if somebody turns around and goes, "Can't talk about that," to me that's a big yes. Yeah. You know, but you know,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I was looking into the Roswell incident the other day actually, and like 1 minute they were going, "Oh yeah, it's a crash UFO," it was a crash spaceship or something they used, said, and then the next minute it was a weather balloon.
That's right.
And then it was reported in the news as something else. Then there was an eyewitness to come forward. And then he was bullied to retract his statement. And he's like, "Oh, I regret I ever did anything. I should have kept my mouth shut." It's just a mess.
Well, the thing that gets me about that and Rendlesham Forest is, do you remember the hieroglyphs that were reported with the Roswell crash? If you look at some of the photos of the alleged hieroglyphs that are on this liquid metal bendy stuff, very similar to the ones that were reported in Rendlesham Forest. So why could these not be from the same place?
So do you subscribe to the fact there could be multiple species of aliens out there?
Yeah, I don't see why not. For us to turn around and say that this is the only planet with intelligent life on, that's just an arrogant thing to say. Out of the whole of the cosmos, and for every pinprick of light that you see, for each star, there's supposed to be 2 to 3 planets capable of sustaining life as we know it, and that's life as we know it. That's not saying that there isn't carbon-based life or something else or something else. So, out of the billions and billions of them,
they've just recently discovered that water planet, haven't they?
I think there is life on so many planets. And I think there's probably life on planets that's millions, if not billions, of years more advanced than we are. You know, I don't see why there wouldn't be whatsoever, because we're quite late in our galaxy is quite a new galaxy compared to lots of others. I mean, I think they found 4 recently that are something like 500 million years old or something like that. And those planets there, if things had just been left to evolve and evolve and evolve and evolve and evolve, you're going to have, there's so many planets out there with just technology that we'd just be like, nah, you know. And it would literally go back to primitive times when they came and we thought they were gods. So it would just go back to that again.
Yeah. We just need one of those food replicators that they have on Star Trek, and we'll
I want one of those replicators. God, that'd be awesome. Plenty of planets in the Goldilocks. Yeah, exactly. You know, I reckon there's.
Can you imagine the amount of money you'll save with a replicator?
Oh, that'd be awesome. Just like, fancy curry tonight? Yeah, right. Curry. Chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, but then you've got to specify what temperature.
Yeah. Well, you can have it with like a roll of, it'd be like light up toilet rolls, wouldn't it, for curry? And like 1 toilet roll's mild.
Yeah.
5 is like.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Captain Picard?
Exactly.
Number 1, to my ready room. Can you get me a toilet roll, mate? Up on
Yeah, fetch me the red one.
And it's like the Federation of Planets, isn't it? That's supposed to be real, supposed to exist, according to whistleblowers and this, that, and the other. The Federation.
Yeah,
of Planets.
I've heard that.
And they want us to.
Yeah, I think
join.
they just. Yeah, no chance, not yet.
We're too warmongering, and the thing is like, it's not us that do the warmongering. It's those bloody idiots that are supposedly in charge of countries, and quite frankly, they couldn't look after a baby with a nappy, let alone anything else.
Well, so I mean, again, you know, you're quite right. I mean, it's not, but I don't think it is just the governments. I mean, people have got no respect these days.
No,
I think there's a lot of no respect at all. I mean, just look how many people was arrested the other day when the Queen was going from Edinburgh to Hollywood. You know, there was that stupid young person calling out Prince Edward, and it's like, really, is this the right time to do that sort of stuff?
Yeah, it's people are idiots.
You know,
and
then like, you've got that, and then you've got those protesters that chuck paint all over buildings and things, and it's like, really.
The thing is,
we're so not.
It's like, we need to reach enlightenment first. But I do think, we are in contact with them, have been in contact with them for a long time. But I think the majority of the ones that have been in contact with us, I think they're not daft. They know damn well that the governments are pulling the wool over our eyes. But I think they know that we're not. Majority of us, I think, are quite nice people who would get on with people from other planets.
Yeah,
it's the idiots, the fearmongers, and the I'm not a boy, I'm not a girl. Where do I we? It's that lot that muck it all up for everybody at the moment, and the overprivileged, and they've got nothing to be privileged about, you know.
I think what these aliens need to do is just come down, take off the Star Trek and Star Wars. They're the ones that used to aliens, and just blow the rest up.
They need to come down and we're here. You guys who like us over here, you guys who don't like us over there. Because I'd love for them to come down, because I'd be like, yes!
Yeah, absolutely. As Trish said, we're not mature enough for them yet.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I think a lot of us are, and I think you I think we're on the edge of something good happening, but it needs the idiots to pack in their nonsense, But I do think that
Yeah,
whoever's in contact with us knows we're not all like that. So, but
yeah,
it
totally.
needs for governments to stop being like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, on that note, we've actually come to the end of the show. How quick did that go?
It bloody did, didn't it?
It
And
did.
I've got Ghost lying beside me
But
the whole time. She hasn't farted once. Brilliant.
brilliant, brilliant.
Her
Yeah,
bum's
we'll have
just
none
there.
of that on this show. So, yeah, on that note, thank you everyone for joining us in the chat room. Thank you, Mark, for being my first guest.
You're
And
welcome.
hopefully, fingers crossed, next week we're going to have Barry Frankish on. Another interesting person. So
that should be good. You'll have to come on ours one day, and Viv and Dan come back on. That'd be good.
yeah, absolutely, we'll do. Definitely. Got to be done.
So
yeah,
it's nice to see everybody in the chat room as well. So come and join us on Friday, 9:30.
Yeah,
Dark Mirror Radio Show.
exactly. If you want that madness, go for it.
You're just being
thank
Mark.
you, everyone.
Paul's been out with me lots of times, and he knows what I'm like. He's being he's been sedated tonight. He's being very tactful tonight, because normally he'd be like, yeah, fucking hell. So yeah, he's being very well done. Well done handling me tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Been good. So we'll definitely have you on again. And Ghost. We'll have Ghost on after a first investigation.
I'll just stick her ass there in front of the camera and just be like, yes, I'm very well, thank you. Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so that's it. We shall see you all next week on whatever show I'm doing now. Mysterious Worlds.
He can't keep up with it. He's got so many.
Everybody. I have. I've got loads of shows going. So
yeah.
Good night, everybody. Bye.